figured I'd do kind of like a cutaway video. I'm out here today doing some landscape photography, and I was wanting to do a video on this. It's another gear video, and it's about magnetic filters for your DSLRs. In the past, well, when I first started out, I was using the good old screw-on filters for like your UV filter, polarizing filter, your NDs, your neutral NDs filters, and as anybody knows, it is such a pain in the butt to have to screw it on, screw it off. Then you're looking at the filters themselves. You have to have a size for every lens that you have, or you go with the biggest lens that you have, and then you use your step-down adapters to adapt it to every lens. That was what we had. But then they also came out with, and I don't know if Koken was the first one to come out with them, but the square filter system. And I gravitated to that pretty much early on when I could afford to get some decent square filters. And I went with the 150 long because I felt that they were a lot easier to manipulate instead of the small square ones in the bracket, and that was the thing. So you still had to put your adapters on the lens. You also had to put a bracket on there so you could slide the glass or resin filters into there, and it was a good system for variable neutral density filters, where if you wanted a skyline or if you're on the beach and you wanted to filter the beach, they were very maneuverable to get it into the position you wanted. And I have used those for years until just recently I went ahead and invested into the magnetic filter, that industry that's really popping up. I'm not brand centric. As you know, I don't monetize any of my videos. So as far as brands, I have no affiliation with them. I went ahead and I invested into the K&F circular filters, which I have here, but I also use case adapters because some of the lenses that I have, I couldn't find at the time a magnetic adapter that would work with these magnetic filters. One thing I learned is that I had a whole bunch of adapters from my previous filter system, but they were aluminum, they weren't metal, so they did not work with the magnetic filters. So I'm just going to let you know that this is probably one of the best things to happen for landscape photographers. I'd say for event photographers, for photographers that are even doing video. It is so easy. So with my filter system that I have, I went and bought the 82 millimeter size, because for the lenses that I use filters on, the 82 millimeter is the largest lens that I have that uses filters. All my other lenses, they're 77, 72. I think I even got a 67. So I've got step down rings for use on them. And I have to say, it has been one of the best investments I've made in my gear. It is such a pleasure to get yourself set up for a shoot, deciding that you want a polarizer or that you want to use a ND filter, and then you can just, like what I've got here, in this here I've got a polarizing filter, a ND 10, an ND 8, and an ND 6. Now they've only got 4 pockets in this, so I've doubled them up, but for like the polarizer, there we go. You just take this, you don't have to touch the glass at all, you just put it there, pop. It's on there. And then you just turn the filter to get to where you want the effect that you're looking for. They're real easy to stack. You don't have to screw them on. I can take an ND filter and pop that right on top, make my adjustments and make the shot, and then just pop them off, put them back in here, and into the case they go. What's also nice, if you don't want to have a case like this, you can take all these magnetic filters and just stack them up. Matter of fact, I think one or two of the manufacturers out there have metal lens hoods that you can get. I don't like the metal lens hood. I prefer either the plastic lens hood itself, or I use like a rubber neoprene type of lens hood that I put on my lenses. But anyways, you can stack those together, put the lens hood on the front and back, and then you can take your little stack of filters and put them in your case if you're, short on space or just don't want to have a case like this, hanging around with you. So these magnetic filters are a win-win, and I highly suggest that if you're really getting seriously into photography, to make the investment into these magnetic filters.